Rwanda's continued fight against COVID-19 and vaccination campaign is in our second studio. My colleague Sam KALISA is joined by some of the cabinet members to shed more light on it.
Thank you very much, Martina Avera, and you just talked about it. This evening we're joined by the Minister of Health, Dr. Daniel Ngamije. Honorable Minister, thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening.
We're as well joined by the Minister of Local Government, Jean-Marie Vianney-Gatabazi. Thank you for joining us, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much.
To begin off, Honorable Minister, there has been different speculations about boosters. One, that a fourth booster shot is going to be administered, and another one that actually the boosters that are being administered are not meant for as booster shots. What do you have to say about it?
I think it was a wrong information from some media because they quote one statement made by a special group of experts from WHO. The whole idea was like for equity access to vaccines, it's better that primary vaccines are given to everybody, and then the booster is given later on. So it was like a call for equity in terms of access to vaccines because we have some countries where even dose 1 and dose 2 are not yet given. It's not fair that maybe in those countries you might find some people getting already the third dose when the majority of the population are not even receiving first and second dose. So it was a call for more equity in access to vaccines.
All right.
But in our case, we are already with more than 77% of people with 2 doses of vaccines. It's time for us to go for a booster dose. And we are making it with, we are close to 500,000 people receiving already their third dose, depending the schedule. Once they do 3 months after the dose 2, they are eligible for getting the booster dose. I think that was the misunderstanding behind. Otherwise, the special group from WHO, in that statement, they said that vaccines are still effective, even to Omicron, in terms of reduction of severity of the disease, and it reduced the risk of death. So there are a lot of advantages of getting vaccines, even for Omicron. So the message was very clear. I think it was a wrong interpretation from some media.
And about the fourth dose?
The fourth dose, so far, some countries are giving already the booster dose. Even WHO confirms about it. But for the fourth dose, few countries started to give it, Israel, but they're giving it only to those beyond 60 years old with special condition of comorbidities, etc. Just because when they monitor the trend of antibodies, neutralizing antibodies, at one point there is reduction of those antibodies. For those few people eligible, they are eligible for the fourth dose in those conditions.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of being aware that the booster is given in a certain number of conditions. Full stop.
All right. And Honorable Ministers, there are also a matter of a small number of people that are allegedly fleeing the country owing it to the fact that they do not want to get vaccinated. I'll start with you, Honorable Minister Gatabazi. How are you coordinating with other institutions, local government authorities, to make sure that people understand the essence and the importance of getting vaccinated?
Thank you very much. The issue of resisting to vaccination has been observed in different corners of the country. In the beginning, because we are dealing with the mindsets of people, this is about behavior change. So the behavior change is always taking longer if you want to change the mind of someone to understand the real benefit of the vaccines. And we try to make sure that we have time with them to explain the benefits of the vaccines, and even to show them, even in their life, they have been vaccinated when they were younger, they were babies. And the people are coming to take vaccines, even those few who tried to flee the country, they have been returned by their own countries, because in those countries also they are vaccinating. Right. So you can't say, I'm going to Tanzania, I'm going to Burundi, or I'm going to DRC, they are vaccinating.
Right.
So there is no need to fear vaccines as long as the government has been trying to make sure that everyone is vaccinated. So our responsibility is to mobilize people, to take time with them, and use all platforms that can help us to let people understand the benefits of the vaccines. So we appreciate the role of religious leaders, from the top leadership to the communities. They helped us even from themselves going showcasing that they have been vaccinated for the first dose, the second dose, even the third dose, and that helped us to convince the communities to come for vaccination. And the big number has been changing mind, so they received the vaccines.
All right, Minister Ngamishe, on the side of health authorities, how are you making sure that people understand the essence of getting vaccinated and stop fleeing the country just because of this?
I think it's a matter of education, convincing, and they should themselves cross-check around and be aware of what we are saying. As I said, if you compare what happened at the time we were with very low vaccination rate, in January last year, a lot of people hospitalized in very severe conditions, compared to what we are seeing today. It should inform people that we have advantages of being vaccinated. And you can see, as we have the majority of population, especially in Kigali City, vaccinated, you can see that we have very few severe cases. And people can feel it, just some small symptoms, or sometimes you are just positive without any symptom. Right. You are vaccinated, you are protected. You have neutralizing antibodies in your blood. If you are in contact with virus, those neutralizing antibodies, they will work against the virus. Then you will not suffer with any severe symptom just because you are well protected with those neutralizing antibodies. It's science, nothing, it's complicated, and it's not the first time that we are getting people vaccinated. All of us, we have been vaccinated since we are young. In our calendar for vaccination, we are giving 12 types of vaccines, and some of them we are giving 4 times, dose 1 up to dose 4. It's only one type of vaccine among those 12 where we are giving only one vaccine, 1 doses. For the rest, it's 2 or 3 or 4 vaccines that doses that we are giving as a booster from dose 1, dose 2, dose 3 up to dose 4. So nothing is new for sure. Right. So people should just be informed. They should not be misled by those bringing rumors, confusing people. In Europe, people are vaccinated for flu every year. So it can happen in Africa that having people vaccinated for COVID more than 2 times, 3 times, it can happen. Nothing is new. There is nothing in relation with the end of the world, etc., etc. Nothing.
Right. Minister Gatabazi, different people in different institutions regarding hesitancy in terms of acquiring the vaccines have, continue to become hesitant to get the vaccines. How are the rights of these people going to be respected, but at the same time fight for the health of other people in the country in general?
Rights of people has limits, because your right, my right. If I'm vaccinated, you are not vaccinated, you don't have right to come and to infect me. That is the real sense of things. Now, we have given them time to think about that. Those who were refusing, at the end, they changed their mind. The minds, they come for vaccination. Those who refused categorically, they signed to resign from their jobs. That is putting themselves on risk of their life. But for others who are still hesitating, the right to have services in different in restaurant, bar, taxis, minibus, transportation. So they have to remember that we don't have to expose others who are vaccinated. Right. So we tell them to go for vaccination first, then go to benefit the services. Actually, we are calling upon all religious leaders and the other who are owning the services to remember to ask the card of vaccination before giving service to those people who are coming to them.
All right. And finally, Honorable Minister Ngamije, as we speak, a door-to-door census is being carried out to assess the rate of vaccination for those who took the first, second, and also the third dose. How is this going to help the country in terms of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic?
We just want to make sure that no one is left behind for different reasons, being beliefs reasons or any reason. We want to make sure that everybody is vaccinated, because our target is to reach 70% of those above 12 years old by June. And if we reach this target of 70%, it's like we are in condition where, for sure, even with a new variant, we might expect again very few people in hospitals, and then we continue life. I think people are very happy, parents are very happy to have kids returning at school, rather than keeping them at home, fearing that maybe there will be huge increase of contamination, death. No.
All right.
If the government was able to decide to get schools reopening in January, it's because we can see that we are getting benefits of being vaccinated.
All right.
So we should keep that standards, making sure that everybody is vaccinated and we are ready to face any new variant.
All right. Thank you very much for your time,
Thank you.
Minister. And thank you, Minister Gatala.
Thank you very much.
And that was it for our interview.